Welcome back. We are going to go through today and do some positives and negatives of the big fifth wheel as compared to the little Bean Teardrop. We bought this Bean back in June, and after a season of camping in it, we thought we'd let you know our thoughts on it as compared to the big fifth wheel. Just run through some positives and negatives, you know, that sort of stuff. So let's start out with the Bean and go through what we've thought so far.
All right, to start out, I'm just gonna start right here in the kitchen. Our kitchen has worked out so nice. It's nice that you can be outside, talk to your party, whatever's going on out here, and still feel like you are part of what's going on. We're not like huge inside cookers anyways. We rarely use our range, so this works great for what we need when we're cooking on the road. Of course, you're missing out on a lot of fridge and freezer space, and you really have to think about your menu and what you're gonna fit in your little teeny cooler here. So no freezer space, you can't take anything and anticipate putting it in the freezer. That's kind of a drawback with this small kitchen. Another drawback with having an exterior kitchen is the weather. So if we are by chance stuck in some bad weather, somebody's gonna be out here in their rain jacket, cooking, grilling, and making the best of what situation we are in. So you might be thinking, well, you've got more space in your trailer, but in reality, our trailer does not really have much more than what is right here. I am really glad that we put in our sink. We haven't used the hot water in it yet, but just having access to water is so nice. Dishes, hands, whatever, and you're not having to run over to the restroom to wash up doing chicken or doing wipes. So nice. We chose to do the premium kitchen. Like I mentioned, we don't do a lot of cooking on our range, but when we do, it is nice to have one. So having our little range, we are still learning. It's either all the way on or completely off. We're still trying to get dialed in on it, but it's nice to have.
Now, coming around the exterior, the off-road suspension has been so nice on this. It makes it so smooth to tow. I know we have way too much truck, but my buddy towed it with his F-150 and he said it's super easy to tow with that. Maybe if we had a smaller Jeep or something, it would feel like it's the right thing to be towing with, and maybe we'll have to go that route, but towing this is amazing, and it was great on our trip because we could zip in and out of parking lots and everything else, things we can't do with the big fifth wheel back there. We were able to just not even worry about it really, whether it was getting into a coffee shop or into a parking lot or whatever camping place that we couldn't have got into before. The Bean was able to get us in. But with the smaller size, for towing is awesome, but when it comes to being inside, it can kind of be a little bit of a different story. Sleeping in the Bean, great. It comes with a 4-inch mattress. We have it so it'll fold up so you can have the table, all that stuff, even though we never put the table up, so we just left it folded down. The one negative, Kara can stand up to get dressed. I cannot. So after 2 weeks of lying down trying to get dressed and everything in this, the Teardrop lifestyle was a little bit cramped. We still love it, not to be too negative on it, but it was a little bit difficult, you know, in those tighter situations. When we got home with the Bean, we thought, holy crap, we have so much storage space with this giant box, which it's one of the bigger boxes you can get on a Teardrop trailer from what I found. But we quickly found out how fast this box gets full. Going minimal on so many things, it's a little bit of a change. But after our 2-week trip up through Canada and Oregon and Washington and all that, it made us realize how much we are packing that we don't really use or need. And that's a pretty big benefit. So there's the walk around of the Bean. Now let's talk about the fifth wheel. We've had Goldie for 5 or 6 years now, and we love it, but we've actually only used it once this year because we got the Bean right about the time the truck got fixed. And so we finally got out last weekend to use it, and we were thinking, okay, there are some very big positives to having the big fifth wheel as compared to little trailer, but there's also a few negatives, so let's walk through those. Now, first positive of the big fifth wheel is you get to have a big truck. So if you like having a big truck, get a big fifth wheel, because then you get a big truck. But also, negative, you have to buy a big truck if you have the big fifth wheel. So if you don't want to spend an extra, you know, 60 to whatever grand just maybe the smaller trailer's the way to go. Another drawback with the fifth wheel, as nice as it is to tow and all that sort of stuff, you burn a lot more fuel. When we were going to Canada with the Bean, we got 15.3 miles per gallon over 2,700 miles. And we usually get anywhere from 9 to 10 miles per gallon with the fifth wheel on. So it would have cost significantly more. And then when it comes down to parking it, it's not even in the same realm as easy as the Bean. You really have to think through every parking lot you pull into, every campsite you book, the height of everything around you, all those sort of things. So the fifth wheel does have some drawbacks that way, but it really does tow nice. And after you get, 10 miles down the road, you hardly even notice that they're there. You just kind of learn to go with it and make your turns and watch for things, but it takes about 10 miles of getting used to. When with the Bean, it didn't matter if it was back there or not. Sometimes it was probably just bouncing, who knows. One of the things I didn't realize that I was missing was the bed of my truck. We leave our fifth wheel hitch in most of the year. When we go with the Bean, we take the hitch out, we put our bed cover on, our backflip bed cover, which it was a star and gave us so much more storage, which we needed with the Bean. But it was really nice to not have a big fifth wheel hitch in the back of the truck. And now I've started taking it out all the time because I got used to not having a giant thing in the back of the truck. So it was nice to not have that. As most of you know, the benefit of the fifth wheel is the storage. And it's crazy how much you can pack with you when you have a fifth wheel. And ours is kind of a smaller one, but we just have this thing full of everything that we think we might ever need, which is way more than we really need. And we could probably take 300 pounds out of this. Really, you forget it's even in there. It turns into a storage unit. So it's a positive and a negative.
So literally coming inside the trailer, you can't deny the space in here and the luxury and the availability of the seating and the table already set up.
So many activities!
I could go on how nice it is to have a trailer that you could actually walk into. Going back to the Bean, you can see lack of space in there. Gets a little crowded and not a lot of room to move around once you're actually in. Adding to those luxury items, the eyesore above me.
I really like it.
I must admit, there's some days that you just want to chill, hang out, throw on your Netflix, and just be able to relax and not even think. Like I mentioned, our kitchen's not that vast, so I'm got about the same amount of counter space here. Granted, I probably have less because I have my sink and my range right in the middle of all my counter space. But it is nice to have because my fridge and freezer are right here, right at hand, and I can pack hamburger that's frozen chicken. I can have ice cream. I can have popsicles. It's so nice to have a big working fridge and be able to pack for a week and not have to go to the grocery store every couple of days. We basically forgot how nice it was to have a restroom. We were in the Bean for 12 days, kind of relying on either my parents or using the ones at the RV parks. We got in the fifth wheel over holiday weekend, and we remembered how nice it was to actually have a toilet and a shower in our trailer. You know, it's a kind of weird to think about that and to actually forget that you're not having a bathroom when you're out in the Bean, but we just, we made do. But I will not take this restroom for granted. It was so nice to have it back.
The Bean's mattress is great. It worked just fine, especially for what it is. I mean, it's a real camp trailer. The Bean's is a full queen size, just the same as this is, but our custom mattress inside our mattress, it just is so nice. We've had it for, heck, 4 years now, and we sleep so much better with this mattress. There were a lot of mornings in the Bean, you'd just wake up and you felt all right, but you'd been sleeping on a 4-inch mattress. As compared to when we're in this, We don't sleep in often, but we find ourselves in the fifth wheel sleeping in when we go places. I always say, hey, I'll get up and run at, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. It's usually 8 or 9 because we are just out cold, loving actually having a full bedroom, which I can stand up and get dressed in. And I'm not laying down trying to get dressed and all that sort of stuff. So it is really nice to be able to stand up and get dressed.
You know what, when it comes right down to it, positives, negatives, going big, going small, there really is no right or wrong answer to this question. It's all about what you want to do, where you want to go. Are you going to do more road, more off-road? There's so many variations when you're looking at trailers on what you want to do. Or you could just buy both. Thank you guys for catching today's episode. We truly appreciate your viewership. Remember to do that like button, not like button, works the same. And enjoy your weekend.
Adam, which one would you get?
I'd get the little one
Why?
because I know a guy who's got a big one and he never uses it.
Thanks a lot, buddy.